All right. So welcome to the second session. Today we will have really interesting session. We will talk a lot about investment, fundamentals of investment. And as you probably know, or some of you do know, in our company we have three fundamentals. Number one is the business. So we emphasize a lot in our business called multi-level crowd investing. Number two is technology itself. So you do need to know a lot of background about the technology. And number three is investment, so education. So we emphasize on these three pillars because they are so important. And these three components, they are making our company very special. Before going to the session, and as I mentioned today, we will talk about investment fundamentals. Let's start with the introduction. Do we have here today people who want to introduce themselves to the group? Let's invite maybe three people for introduction, and then we will carry on with the session. And introduction will do the same way like last time. You should be able to see my slides, so if you can just read the questions and provide us with answers. That will be more than enough for introduction. So, who we have today here, he wanted to be first. Don't be shy. We all know each other pretty much. Hi, Per.
Good morning. Hi. Hi. I need to put my glasses on so I can see the questions though. My name is Per Nilsen. I'm living in Norway. I'm in Kristiansand, southern part of Norway. The most beautiful, I have to say. Okay. Why am I here? I'm in Skyway because I see a great opportunity to be a part of the future with a fantastic business and to be part of this project with Skyway and everything we have to do. I really enjoy it. Life experiences, that's a lot. But last things I did was I've been doing some network, but I've also been doing work with Nike, the sports company. Some noise in the background.
Yeah, if you don't use your mics, please turn them off. Otherwise, it's quite difficult to hear. So you see the green mics and then go to webinar control panel. So if you're not talking, just turn them off. Thanks. Yeah, sorry, Per.
Yeah. So I've been working with Nike, as I said, and that's was my last big company I worked with. So
what you were doing there? What was your?
Pardon?
What you were doing there in Nike?
What I did?
Yeah.
I was a sales manager for Norway and Iceland, and I had this. I was in the management there for like 15 years. So and before that, I worked with an American company called Phillips Petroleum. I was out in the oil industry, so I was there for quite some years. So I changed. That's closer to my heart. That's been Okay. But today I'm happy here, and I look forward to the future. Yeah. My income, well, I just started out in May, so I'm a manager now, and I have to say I don't know, to say my income has been fantastic. I made like $75,000 in those 4 months. I think it's almost
wow, well done.
Yeah, and we had the team is really good because we have achieved to gather like a little bit more than $1 million so far, and it's really looking forward. What would you like to improve? Always something to improve. What I do now is a part of it. I think it's we always learn something, and I'm happy to be a part of this masterproof. And of course, I want to improve my income. I want to improve my team. I want to see that our common dream that to make this happen. That is the most focused thing I have now. Just to see that we can succeed in bringing in enough money to bring this to the finish line, so to speak.
Yeah.
So your main goal of this month in SWIG, stay focused on every day to bring in some money, to bring some to present it, the opportunity, not the money, but also present the opportunity to as many people as possible, because we need, of course, more people to hear about this. And it's really important that we not act like secret agents and just keep it by ourselves. We have to go out and be free and talk to everybody. Just ask them if they want to hear about this great opportunity.
What is the number you have in mind? So you said you want to share with as many people as possible. So what is this number for you, as many as possible?
Well, I try to do at least 5 a day, at least. So, but I do it in different ways. I approach them in different ways, but maybe I can talk more about that another time. It's like, of course, I have my list, and I try to get in touch with as many as, if you have the balls, many balls up in the air, they will fall down one by one in different times. So it's just at least 5 people is my goal. And sometimes you get it, sometimes you're not, and of course that's the way life is. But I try at least 5. That's but it's not like a limit. I try as many as I can. Sometimes much more, and sometimes less. Yeah, I have what should I say? I live with Laura, that's also our consultant. And she supports me 250%. She was skeptical in the beginning, but we went together to Belarus, and it was after that we never looked back. I mean, it's life changing, so to speak. So it's so great to be a part of this. So I just enjoy the day and really looking forward to the future. So thank you very much.
And can I ask you one more question, Per? Just to compare, I guess people who we have specifically on second Master Profi, they are, as I can see from the list, these people are consultant and managers. Like some of them also building the big structure. So we have the very, very strong team here. But what you mentioned in terms of the income is just amazing. And I know some people, even from our list we have here today, are a bit skeptical, about the making money. So just to comparison, so you said you made 75,000 in 4 months, right?
Yeah, I think it's closer to 80 now, but okay. Yeah.
And can you just tell us like what it takes from like a person like you who come from the sales background, who work with their companies like Nike and petroleum companies, to all of a sudden start doing the network and have such a great results? I mean, do you really see that you're working day and night, or like what is your kind of? Can you share with us?
I think it's kind of difficult. I mean, I don't like to say it about myself, but I have what I say. I have a high integrity, and I know that when I call people and say, "I check this out," this really are something that people believes in me, and they have a trust in me. And the other thing is, I think it's that you need to have it in your heart. You need to feel that there's something that burns in there that you can't blow out. And I have that feeling now, and it's you can't say that you're in love, but I hope you understand what I'm saying, because I really turned on, so to speak, and there's a fire that's never going to burn out, because I see this project. We are so many people working in the same direction, helping each other, and at the end of the day, we do this, of course, to make money, but we also do it to change the environment. And I think if you don't have it in your heart, you will. Yeah, it's difficult when you meet the obstacles, because you will meet them. And I just smile and say, "Thank you, it's good. I'm glad you said no." So, and they said, "You glad?" "Yes," I said, "I'm close to the next yes." So it's okay. Take care, and just remember this day, because you will hear about this in the future. Yeah. So it's not a no to me. It's a no to, maybe they don't have money. It's a lot of stuff. So what I'm doing, I'm talking free to people, and I tell them, and I ask them, if I could show you something that could be like this, could change the world, could do this, could do that, would you be interested? And everybody say, of course. Yeah. And people have answered you, yes, but I'm not going to go into all the sales things. But I think it's just don't think too much. Put up down the names on the list, call them, and be free and say you have met this wonderful opportunity. If you wanna share with them, and yeah, go from there. It's kind of, it sounds strange, but it's kind of easy. I never met anything like this, because I think people want this. People want this kind of projects because it really means something more than money. Money, don't think about money. Money comes if you get the people in as a consequence of what you're doing. So I think it's just to get it in your heart, go out, be proud, be a part of us, be a part of the movement, and go from there. I think I can't say anything more than that.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for sharing, because I'm completely understand what you're saying. And, you know, when I talk to people, just, you know, I cannot stop not to think about it. If I'm in taxi, I will definitely end up talking with the Uber taxi driver. If I'm talking to my friends, somehow conversation will go to, you know, Skyway. So like we cannot not to talk. And, you know, like with all this news as well, I don't know if you seen in the previous articles, but 2 days ago, a president of Belarus, he flew with Unitsky and few other delegates from Belarus to India, and because they had in the Belarusian forum where they have signed a few contracts with the Indian government, and the Skyway was one of the projects proposed by the country president to India government, how they can address the, you know, mass transportation. I mean, it just, you know, it's amazing. And I guess this sort of news, you know, give us extra push.
I mean, it's like I get like this goosebumps, or my hair is rising on my arms when I hear you talk, because it's like the same way as I read it, of course, in the paper, and it's I'm proud and I'm honored to be a part of it, because I'm really sure we're going to change the world, and I'm crazy enough to believe it. So, and we're really going to do it. So,
absolutely,
it's really looking forward to this.
Thanks a lot, Pierre.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, who can beat that? Okay, someone else, please. Switch your camera on, your mic, and please introduce yourself to the group. We're gonna do like 2-3 people per session, so then. Oh, hello.
Hello. Hi, Mila.
Hi, Philip. How are you?
Good, good. Yeah, my name is Philip. I certainly can't beat Nez's introduction, but I'll certainly give it a go.
Sure, please go ahead.
As I said, my name is Philip Janku. I'm from Perth, Australia, and I'm actually quite very new to Skyway. I'm almost an agent. I'm still a partner, so right at the very beginning, and I can't be more excited about what I have learned already about Skyway, and yeah, my whole family is very happy and excited. So we're here because well, Australia is really booming, and I guess as you know, with Rod Hook and what he's doing, and Sally and Sharon here in Perth, we're doing big things. So I want to definitely join them and increase the market here in Perth, because unfortunately here in Perth people are very skeptical about this kind of thing, and so I want to change that, especially for the young people like myself. So my life experience and achievements in network marketing, I'm quite new with network marketing as well. I've done a couple of businesses here and there, but this is by far the biggest thing I've been involved with. I'm currently an aircraft maintenance engineer, so I'm doing that full time. So I'm trying to balance that with this as well. So income.
Aircraft engineer, wow.
Sorry?
I said your aircraft engineer is great.
Sorry, say that again.
Your aircraft engineer says good knowledge
for
the technology side as well.
Definitely. That's definitely a side of that attracted me personally. thinking physics and that kind of thing. It's really the technology is incredible. So that's really what has encouraged me and attracted me to this. Income-wise, like I said, I'm right at the beginning, so not much at all. But I look forward to building that.
How much like you want to earn? What is your target then in this case? What is your desired income?
Yeah, in what kind of time span are we talking?
Let's say like how much you want to earn per month from, I don't know, next month onwards. So what would be your figure?
Per month? Well, I'd be happy with 500 to 1,000 a month by next month. Yeah, look, I have to be realistic. You know, I'm still at the very beginning, so I don't expect very much. But look, whatever comes my way, I guess. I'm going to work as hard as I can, and yeah, hopefully the best.
Well, as far as I know, Sharon made 10K in the first 2 weeks, 10,000. So you should definitely aim for more. With the teachers like there, Sharon and Sally. Sky's the limit.
Definitely. Look, if you know, yeah, it is possible, like you say, and I will do my best to do that. But at the same time, I mean, Sharon doesn't have a full-time job, so I'm kind of want to be realistic with how much time and effort I can put into this. But yeah, definitely it is possible. So yeah, maybe. What's next? Number 4. What would I like to improve in the next 12 months? Well, yeah, like I said, actually, one of my goals, which I've put into my homework, is to resign from my current full-time job. As much as I love it, I would actually much rather be doing this. So yeah, hopefully my income will surpass my current income from my full-time jobs. So that way I'll be able to resign and this full-time. So that's actually would be my my goal for the next 12 months. And for this next month, I want to concentrate as much as I can on this Master Profi course. Learn as much as I can, and talk to as many people as I can. I'm still yet to learn different techniques and what to say to people. So I'm hoping that's one of the things that we will learn here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and my marital status, I'm married. I've been married for almost a year now, and have a little son that's 16 days old.
Oh wow!
So yeah, so he's a very beautiful boy. I'm very blessed.
That's super. That's great. Probably the youngest sort of supporter of the Skyway,
Yeah, definitely. He will definitely join his father when he grows up.
Awesome, great. Well, thank you very much. So I guess your another half, she supported you as well on this journey.
She's very supportive, definitely. Yeah, she's a stay-at-home mum at the moment. So she's staying home with the baby, but yeah, very supportive. I'm very blessed in that way.
That's great. That's awesome. Like what you said, a few very important things. As a company, we also have a goal to attract young people as well. We actually realized that for some reason, if you look at their average age of like statistics in our company, majority of the people who do the business today, they will be those people who like between 40 and 50. So these are, the main category. Yeah, you would be actually surprised. But if you look at the country, like this is the strongest leaders will be within this category. So we're looking to definitely target, young generation. And if you had any ideas, maybe what we can do as the company, maybe I don't know, any great ideas are welcome, and we definitely look at there also at this area. And in fact, we were looking for a team where we can put together some team who can work specifically with this market, because there are lots of opportunities there for them, like generation like Y and Z, all this. For them, what we realize, they don't want to have a job. Like, that's very clear. People today, when they graduate from university, they want to have a freedom. They want to travel the world. They want to, do so many things. And for them, especially, this, lifestyle which our company can provide them with is, it's ideal. It's perfect. But because they haven't had any experience previously, because they're still, young, for them, we need somehow to target them separately. And this is a big task for company now. So therefore, if you have any ideas, that will be great. And especially after you graduated from Profi course, I will definitely add you also to the group when we can, brainstorm and see what will be the ideas for the younger generation to get involved in the project.
Definitely. I very much look forward to it, Mila. Absolutely.
Thank you. So you see, we already have something for you to lead to.
Yes.
Thank you, Philip. Thank you for your share.
All right. Thank you very much, Mila. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Okay. And one more person, please. Oh, we have quite a few people who joined. Let me just unmute you. So one more, and that's...
Can we do without camera?
Oh, Hanif. Well, yes, sure. If your camera is not working, then I guess go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to introduce myself, because I think it's a great opportunity to... Oh, for my computer dies. Let me just plug in as well. Sorry, Mila.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, hi everyone who don't see me. My name is Hanif. I'm from UK, Oxford. When I say Oxford, a lot of people say people in Oxford probably are clever. No, it's not true. People in Oxford are lazy and just drinking beer. So, why are you here, Skyway? To be honest, I heard about the Skyway for a long time. Many of you probably heard about this and just forget. And I'm going through the same experience when I talk to people and they say, oh yeah, that's good, but they kind of forget about it. And Milo was in fact the one who told me a long time ago. And then 2016, I joined Skyway. The reason I joined was simple. I mean, it's real technology. When you go touch something physically, in the online world today, when you hear about opportunity, you don't really see anything. It's just there, some people sitting maybe in Philippines or Australia, USA, or some island, and just take your money and say, okay, I give you X percentage per month. But this is a real physical technology that you can go and visit, and actually we've been there ourselves and we've seen it. Your life experience, oh, I didn't know about that one. still going through experience. Academically, I studied physics and worked for large corporate technologies for almost 10 years, large and small. And the project was quite complex, very involved. That's the reason the first time I saw when it was in 3D model, I said probably it didn't work, because it's such a complex system if you look at it. But thanks to Dr. Unitsky, he's actually found a solution to that. I've been involved in network marketing for almost just over 3 years, probably. First 2 years probably was just learning. First year and a half was learning, just pretending that I was in network marketing. And the last 18 months really was I was making money full time from network marketing. So I've been sitting on my chair at home, so traveling around the country as well. Result in life, income. The income, I don't know, it goes from 0 to 12K in network marketing. One thing you realize is you never have a stable income, so it always fluctuates. It goes up and down. Yes, after the Minsk meeting, we decided to go full speed with Skyway. The reason for that is this is my life experience. When I come back, and I said to a lot of people, thanks to Dr. Unitsky, that he was born in Russia. If he was born in America or somewhere in Silicon Valley, in capitalist country, we probably not have this in our hand. And
good point.
The reason I am right now trying to get this talk to as many people as possible is because this is a great opportunity for a lot of people to get out of this rat race, basically. What would you improve? Of course, there's room for improvement in any things. One of the things I find because of the online world, there's a lot of distraction. Every day, especially when once you're involved in network marketing or online marketing, you're bombarded with information, new information. Take a look at this. This gives you 50%, something gone up by 2,000%. And it is like emotionally almost raping you.
Yeah.
Because we are human, we are greedy, it's so much distraction. I think the only one improvement if I would do first prioritize is concentration. So concentrate on what is working and what is working at Skyway and whatever I have in my pocket as well. So your main goal for this month and this week, yeah, we're aiming to hit the manager position. So let's see. We have a great team. There's a great people joined us, and they see the vision. Some of them are professional networkers, some of them are non-professional networker. What we need is ramping up now. Yeah, of course, I've been married for 6 years. I think they say 7 years is the golden age. So getting there. And I have 2 beautiful kids, and that's one of the reasons a lot of the time I'm actually at home, so working from home. So that was me, and for those people who are quite new into Skyway, don't make my mistake. Don't sleep over this for about a year before you decided to work. If you are joined it about a month or 2, go full speed with it, because I've looked at quite a lot of different things. There is nothing out there to match this in terms of credibility, in terms of longevity, and also the people you're involving into this is they're all going to be at some point in their life going to thank you from their bottom of heart. I know it feels so great if somebody really thank you. I know that we all bump somebody, or we just say thank you. That's a different thank you. Somebody at some point come and give you a hack, and you're going to feel just that feeling probably worth everything. So that's me. Yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity to share a little bit of my my thought there.
You know, the one thing which just to guess what you mentioned, you mentioned about the income, and there are like few things which like in our company are also slightly different. In usual network marketing companies, I know like it's like you need to sell yourself like personally certain amount of whatever the product they sell for you to also make the income, and it could be, as you said, up and down, up and down. But what I can tell you, Hanif, and other people who are here, I've been involved in a company for 1.5 years, and since the last 7 months my income never drops. And I'm not doing more personal sales, unfortunately, because I now involved on so many other things. I think the first like 6 months, I was lots of the things I was doing like personal. I was invite people personally, try to grow my first line. But then as I was given different exercises to do, like or different tasks, then slowly my focus has shifted. Even though I know that more people having your personal line is better, because then you can grow more managers and then income on your first few levels, also quite like larger compared to downs level. But at the same time, what I notice, once you have a strong structure, even if you have only like 4 or 5 leaders on your first level, this should give enough boost for you not to drop in your income, because we have other streams of income which we can add. Like for example, when you open office, that's something coming to you every single month passively, because then income will be taken from your city or your region. Then when you talk to the big investors as well, it is not immediate income, but then for them it's your medium term, because then in one day they will, as you correctly said, the old people, they will come back to you. So that another stream. So in our company, because we have these different streams, it is possible to reach the kind of the stage where you would always every month, like you will receive more but not less, because then structure work for you anyway. And the more people join in your downline is better. And now we have a different marketing plan, and that's actually one of the aspects. Before, when we have 15% in the first line, that was slightly difficult to earn from the depth. But now, as we have a slightly different marketing plan, what I realized in my network, that my income actually started increasing, because this 7% that you were put on the deep levels, and on the deep levels, that's where I have majority of the people. So I guess like what I can suggest for Hanif and for those people who are not yet earning as much as Perth, Paris, sorry. So it just keep growing your personal, but also plug people into different trainings we organize, wherever it's in UK or other countries, and make sure that they also fully updated, because most of you been to the park, you've seen it, you believe in it. So now you just need to put your experience into, their hearts. And once people see it, it's like they will never reverse their opinion back, because then it's obvious for everyone. And we're just helping you with all this, news and updates. And, now I'm like even doing the session for you today, and I'm thinking well, what if next week, our big investor finally will make the money transfer, then, we kind of done with the park. So what are we going to do next? Projects. So it's so many things, like excited things. And all people you work with today, this will be your foundation for today, for tomorrow, and for next, months and years ahead. So keep doing what you do, and I'm sure you will easily hit manager task within this months.
Yeah, that's the aim. Thank you.
That's the aim. Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot, Hanif. So now you can turn your mics off. This session, actually, I will talk a lot. So probably we'll do a few breaks in between as well. Because in today's session, we will talk about the fundamentals of the private investor. And as you know, as you should know, Academy of Private Investor, you can see logo on the left-hand side. This is the company created by Andrei Fedorovich Khavratov. More than 8 years ago, he decided to put academy together where he will teach students, mostly from Russian-speaking countries, how to become financially independent, how to deal with their different investment tools, how to grow portfolios, and how to do the financial planning, and what people need to do overall today for them to make the future much more safer for themselves and their families. Because today, unfortunately, we cannot rely on a job. If you're not the boss, then someone can fire you easily. So therefore, you need to start thinking about okay, what is the next for me? I need to have some savings. I need to invest into different companies, into different businesses. But what I need to start with. And that's what Andrei idea is, to give people these fundamentals of the private investment. And himself, he's professional investor, so he made tons of money on investing. I know that he invests a lot in real estate, gold, and into the businesses, stocks, and so on, so on, so on. So he wanted to share with you guys this information, because what are you planning to do in our company, in Skyway Invest Group, as I mentioned in the beginning. So we have these three directions, which are very closely interlinked with each other, but at the same time, they still, so different. And we are planning from next year onwards, when we fund the technology completely, once Ego Technopark is fully funded, we will open few offices and a few departments rather, and existing offices where we will have people, we call them investment consultants. So this will be a separate team who will emphasize more on the investment education, and these will be people, of course, who finish master Profi course. So if you feel like out of this topics, investment is something you're personally excited about, then definitely do let me know, because we are now in the process of selecting where we will have our first consultants, and these people need to have knowledge in investment foundation, and they also need to be invested themselves in different businesses, and they have experience working maybe in a stock market or forex, or anything related to investment itself. So that is our plan. So again, if you feel like investment topic is resonated with you, then please do let me know. Today, we will talk about the basic law of private investment. Probably majority of you heard about 8 principles or 8 rules of the private investor. We'll talk about capitalization. We'll talk about financial planning, very briefly on how to create financial plans. And we will talk about investors level. So there are different levels, different specifications, and we'll go through this, one by one. So long session, but trust me, it's one of the I guess the most excited topics. I personally love investment, and that was actually the first reason. Like the reason number one why I joined the company was because I seen that from all the investment instruments, it was one of the best proposal, even though it was quite risky on this time. But then, as I did research, I realized the technology potential. Then I loved the vision of the company and mission, and then the last bit for me was the business. So we all here, for different reasons, and we have our own journey. But my one started actually with investment, and that's what initially brought my interest is actually investment proposal. And because I previously learned a lot about investment, it helped me to understand everything much more faster than for people who never heard about investment, never heard about anything. For them, it was too risky for them to consider. But once you know the rules, once you understand them, how to play the game, then of course you can make decision much more faster and more efficient. So let's start with the 8 rules of the private investor. Rule number 1, you need to know the basic difference. And we are all with you are shareholders of technology. So you need to know what is the difference between the financial freedom and financial independence. What is the difference between the assets and liabilities? What is the difference between investment and investing? Can you tell me, or can you type rather in chat, who knows what is the difference between financial independence and financial freedom? Just put in chat plus if you know and minus if you don't. What is the difference between financial independence and financial freedom? Either I cannot see the chat or no one knows. Hanif, I knew that you knew this. Okay, some of you minus, plus. So only 2 people. So what about rest 15? Okay, Manjula. Joseph. Okay, so perfectly. We have some people. I'm not going to say majority because I have no idea what another half, what they do. But there are some people who already know what's different. But let me just recap one more time. Financial, I'm sorry, why is keep jumping? Financial dependence. So financial dependence is defined by the current asset person has. Oh, what is this? Sorry, my screen is jumping. Okay, I'm not going to touch a chat anymore. So if you want to ask something, use your voice, because it seems like every time I touch in chat, my slides are, disappearing. So the financial dependence. Financial dependence is defined by the current assets person has. It is a situation where a person can cover monthly expenses and live like that for 10 consecutive years without degrading the quality of life. So in other words, you have enough income for you to cover your your current lifestyle, and you don't need to worry about much where else you need to earn money, or you don't need to add another income streams because you have enough money for you to cover your lifestyle you currently have. An example here, so let's say your expenses $1 a month, then you multiply by 12 and then by 10 years. As a result is for you to live your current lifestyle, you need to have 120,000 US dollars. And this sum of money required you live at the current level without working for the next 10 years. So this is financial independence, where you don't struggle and you are okay with whatever your assets will bring you on a monthly basis without, downgrading or upgrading your lifestyle. While financial freedom is completely different. Financial freedom achieved by having income from current assets, and basically your monthly expenses are fully covered without losing any capital. And this is very important, which means you have enough, maybe businesses or companies, or let's call them, let's use the right financial terms. You have enough assets for you, which are able to cover all your monthly expenses, and at the same time, you're not losing any of your capital. So if, let's say, you have 120,000, you invested with the 12% annually return, then you will get 1,000 per month. So under this scenario, you can be unemployed for unlimited years, as you can see example on the screen. But also what it would means that you have enough for you to improve your lifestyle. So we're not talking about having independence where you having the same lifestyle as you have previously, but you have enough capital for you to do pretty much whatever you want. And you know that there's always money working for you, because then you don't have to work for you to increase your capital. You rather invest whatever you have into different businesses, into different investment tools, and it give you an average like certain percentage, which enough for you to cover all your liabilities, all your expenses, and plus you're not losing any capital you initially invested. Hope it makes sense, because it's slightly more complicated, but with financial freedom, you don't need to worry about money. You have a certain lifestyle which you can afford, and you know that whatever the money you invested, the money working for you. And to become financially independent, one has to identify in which financial flow he currently is, and what would you, if you're not where you wanted to be, then what do you need to do for you to be where you wanted to be. And you probably, most of you, I hope, aware with Robert Kiyosaki, his book, Poor Dad and Rich Dad. That is where the 6 years ago, for the first time, heard about, the financial flow of poor, middle class, and rich. And let's just briefly touch this topic. So financial flow of poor person will be when you have all your, you receive your income, usually from only one income stream, and then you spend them all. People are spending all money they earn, and sometimes more, but taking money from their friends, relatives, in order to survive till next salary. I guess very common, especially in countries where people don't tend to look for different, opportunities, because maybe they're not educated enough, or maybe they have no idea that there's other, opportunity or other scenarios of their life. People just, what they do is they go just work, home, receive money, they spend money. And this is kind of survival mode, because this will be the people who would always look for, payday, because for them it's, very hard to survive. They might not never enough have, money to support the family, kids, and etc. So this is financial flow of the poor person. Financial flow of the middle class, I think it's even more dangerous. I don't know what is the worst, to be honest. Do you have financial flow of the poor or financial flow of the middle class? The reason why is if you see from this chart, middle class people usually have many liabilities, and unfortunately they mix them with assets. And we had a conference in London just last week where I spent some time to explain also what is the difference between the assets and liabilities. And we actually will have a cover in the session as well. But for sake of this slide, liabilities would be all your expenses. So your car, your phone bills, your rent. So whatever you pay money out of your pocket, your expenses, we call them liabilities. Whatever the instruments which can put the money into your pocket, we call them, assets. So from this diagram, you can see that people, they not just receive income and they spend it, but people actually take in liabilities. They having cars, they having loans, they having maybe 2 phone bills, and then they added another one because latest iPhone just launched in the market a few days ago. So these would be the people who actually take more and more liabilities than they actually can afford it. And that is why if you look at their cases where brokers jump from the building in London or in America, when people are in complete depression, that's what happens when you have a certain lifestyle. Maybe you're very comfortable, I don't know, you earn 100,000 a year or so, and then you start taking all these liabilities, but then you realize in one day that you're jobless. And what happened with these people, they're not just in survival mode, but they below that mode, because it's not just about them to pay for food and for the shelter, but these people have lots of liabilities. They have to, you know, sell everything for them to pay back, you know, the credit cards and the loans, and, you know, to cover all the expenses. And that is where the situation get even, you know, worse and worse and worse with the today economy. And you can see, I'm sure you're all aware what happened with the Greece for the past, you know, few years, when they even been kicked out from European Union, when, you know, banks were shut, people were not able to withdraw. And imagine for those people who has, you know, other responsibilities, like they have other liabilities which they have to pay on a monthly basis. So what are you going to do? You're below survival mode, and this is a very dangerous situation to be. So therefore, between probably choosing to just be on a survival mode, and B, to sort of be in the middle class, but then you're not in control of your own, you know, income, you're not in control of your own assets, because you only have one job. I don't know which one is more dangerous, to be honest. But number 3 is actually where we all want to be. We want to have the mindset of the rich person. Financial flow of rich is completely different. So rich person would receive, you know, multiple income sources, because the rich person would never rely on only one income source, because it's very dangerous. And we will talk about this later on as well. More income will bring you more assets, and assets will be tools which can provide you with even more income. So assets could be applications, shares, deposits, real estate, whatever it is. And then you have enough assets to cover your expenses and liabilities. So you can see this circle. So you're not just relying on one income source, you have enough of the assets which also provide you with more income at the end of the day. And that is the philosophy of Andrei Khavratov. And it was actually very obvious when it comes to the Minsk. We had this training for 3 days training. I know that some of you stayed, and actually that's one of the reasons a few people are on this training, is we provided, you know, free opportunity for those who attend 3 days training in Minsk. So what is Andrei philosophy would be is to put the price for training. He will say, okay, let's just calculate 4 days in Minsk. You need to travel, you need to, you know, stay at the hotel, you need to buy some, you know, food and nice clothes, because we'll have a conference, and it'd be like for women, like nice dresses. So like just calculate whatever you need for you to be kind of to afford whatever you want to afford for these 4 days. So let's say the average would be like, I need $2,000 for me to buy tickets, like hotel, and just to be okay in Minsk without me, you know, struggling and thinking about, you know, extra money. Let's say 2,000 for some could be, you know, more, especially I know people who travel from Australia, tickets were, you know, like a lot of money, but let's just use, you know, 2,000 as example. So you may know that this expense for the conference is 2,000. Then you look at this, what will I gain? The first of all, you will have opportunity to meet their company CEO, and meet Unitsky, see the Ecotechnopark. You would be able to look at the technology, and you would be able to, you know, touch it, and, you know, you can sit inside, like you can see everything what you previously saw in videos, you can see, you know, on your eyes. So it will give you lots of confidence. It will definitely boost your business. Then you stay for the 3 days training, and after you complete the training, we're 100% sure if you will use all the knowledge you generate through the training, you will be able to take your business to completely next level. So you look at this as investment. So you invest in the trip 2,000, but then the outcome will be much more greater, because this 2,000 will help you to boost your confidence. You will be, you know, the person who will the confidence, do the conference in front of, I don't know, 100 people and say, I've been there, I saw Unitsky, that's my opinion. I saw the Khavratov, that's my opinion. And I finished the training, and now I have enough tools for me to make my business even more successful. And that's itself, this experience and outcome of that experience will worth more than 2,000. Make sense? So that is, you know, the way how Andrei will look at the things. Same when we open office, we look at okay, we invest, you know, at this stage in these people, we invest in this office, but then what is there as a result? But even, you know, make it even more interested. before any promotions, or before Ecotechnopark, we had a promotion company where we provided people with extra opportunity to earn money. You remember, it was the time where if you bring the 4 consultants, you have extra 2,000 on the top of the bonus. So why we created this promotion all of a sudden before the event? Because Andre is a big believer that when it comes to them spending, you need to first create your assets. So your network is your biggest asset, and by you working hard, like a month or a few weeks before the event, gives you opportunity for you to earn enough money to cover your trip entirely. And then you cover your trip from the commissions, and as a result of your spending for Ecotechnopark on 3 days in Minsk, as a result of it, you will see your network grow significantly. And that is the right mindset of the of investors. That's how they think. They don't think, okay, I have this trip, let me find money so I can buy the tickets, buy hotel, and then my network will bring you money. But where I find the money in the first place? I need to take from my savings? No, that's not how investor think. Investor will think, what assets, what I need to create for me to fully cover whatever I need to have for me to gain the result A, B, C, D. You know, it's very clever. And if you look at all our company promotions, they will always be structured on that way. We will always give you more opportunity to earn before the promotions. We give you always extra bonuses, so whatever that you can generate before promotion will be more than enough to cover entire trip and expenses and everything. And as you remember from the previous promotion for Ecotechnopark, people who brought the 4 consultants, they earn around it was like 2,000 commissions, and then it was 2,000 on the top, 4,000. And 4,000 more than enough for you to spend the 4 days in Minsk. So you see the difference. I hope it's illustrate you well, because that's how rich people think. They will create first asset which would be able to cover wherever their liability is, whatever the expenses, and then this asset in return will bring them even more, as a result of the investment, the outcome will be even occurring larger income. This is the point, and that's what we want to teach our people in Skyway Invest Group, and this is the mindset we want you guys to have. Can you please put plus if you agree, if it makes sense, if you see the point? I think I brilliantly illustrated to you. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Joseph. Pierre, Philip. Guys, let's be a bit more active. Otherwise, I feel like I'm talking to myself. I already know all these materials. How many times I've done this? I lost count. So I'm doing this for you because this is knowledge you guys need. Sally said you didn't see any comments. Oh, it's because I don't know why you don't see any comments. You're in stuff. You should be able to see. I'm not sure. I will read comments for those. Okay, brilliant. Let's have a look further. I believe I already mentioned this slide. So the assets are resources with economic value that individual owns or controls, with expectation that will provide them the future profits, and liabilities your expenses. So assets these are the resources or tools which bring into money into your pocket, and liabilities or expenses that is what they take money from your pocket. What is different between investing and investment? So investment means tool. So it's basically the way you deposit in money into different ventures. And there are different methods and sectors of the investment. And this will be covered a bit more detail on the session number 5, where I will talk about, each investment tool separately. And I will explain you much more detail sort of what in Skyway Invest Group, what are the investment tools we looking to invest into, and just give you a bit of pros and cons of each. But there are different investment tools such as bank deposit, be co-owner of the small and medium business, insurance companies, investment funds, stock, futures, options, bond, real estate, forex, hypes, antiques, precious metals, trust management, education, and so on, so on, so on. I guess for us, what we're doing today with you guys, we invest our money and our time into the education. So it should be number one on the list, actually. And investing, it means actually the process itself. Investing means the understanding the money ability to multiply over the years to provide you with higher yields. Just as example, which I will cover also later on. Let's imagine that you have 10,000 to invest, and you take in account a monthly capitalization, 12% in your first year, 15 in your second, 18 on your third, and so on for the next 20 years. So actually, you will realize that from started with their 10,000, after 20 years, you will have more than 3 million. It sounds, maybe too big and too good, but we will go through the capitalization in much more detail today, and you will be able to see and check and calculate everything yourself. Rule number 2, the 5 commandments for private investor. These are very simple and very obvious rule. The number 1, you need to save anything from 10 to 30% from your income. So every month, what do you do when you receive your income or you receive your salary? You pay yourself, which means that you put this 10% to start with aside, and you're looking to reinvest this money. We will discuss again different instruments, but make it as a habit. At least anything from 10 to 30% of your income you need to reinvest. Number 2, control your expenses. Very simple exercise, but at the same time, 95% of the people they don't do this. I realized the huge difference when I actually started to write down all my expenses. By the end of the day, I will just put like a small Excel sheet. I will just put all expenses, and then I will have a look at the end of the month where I'll spend majority of the money. So then next month I can readjust if needs to be. You need to learn how to protect your money. Don't be impulse buyer. Make sure that you understand kind of why you need to spend the money. What is this for? You also need to protect your money, as Hanif said, from all these companies who offer you great returns, hypes and pyramids where they say that you don't need to do anything. You just sit at home, no recruiting needed, nothing. You just sit and somehow huge percentages will end up in your pocket. So don't believe everything you heard. Make sure that you do your due diligence before you invest money into different companies, and always protect the money, always be wise. And that's one of the reasons why we want to put this education course, is to make sure that people are fully aware what to do and what not to do. Learn how invest wisely. I guess it's very common. It comes together with the previous one. And always learn to earn more. And this is the very important point, because you don't want to rely on only one income source. As I mentioned, it is actually quite dangerous, because you never know what could happen with this company or with the business, even if it's your own business. You always want to learn how to earn more, because the more income streams you have, then it's called diversifications. Then even if something goes, if some companies go down or if some investment will fail, you will have another investment which will be successful. But for you to understand exactly where to park your money, again, it's all started with education, because once you have a knowledge, you know how to use this knowledge. Think about Warren Buffett. I don't know if you've seen, but very recently, it was a documentary movie, Be Like Warren Buffett, I think it's called. I definitely recommend you to watch if you haven't. But what he said on this movie and this interview, he said, for me, it doesn't matter. I can be like anywhere in the world. I can look at any market's opportunity, but I know what I'm looking for. And imagine, he doesn't even use internet for him to select the companies. He just use a very old-fashioned way, this books and reports and newspapers. That's how he get information about the financial world. So it's like for people like Warren Buffett, he has the knowledge, right? And this pays off, for his entire life. And you cannot take the knowledge from person. You can take take the job. You can, some investment can go up and down. The stock market can fluctuate a lot. The share price can go up and down. I don't know. So many things can go wrong. Like country economy can go down, and then or all of a sudden inflation will doubles. So many things can go out of our control. But if you have a knowledge, then no matter what country you live in, no matter how old are you, no matter of your past experience, once you have a knowledge, you would always will be able to make the wise decisions. You always will be able to differentiate scam company from the company which is has a decent business. And knowledge is will be able to provide you with more income sources in the future. So unless you learn, unless you educate yourself, unless you have a certain knowledge which can help you to become more professional, then it will be really, really hard to be successful in today's economy, in today's world, because the knowledge today, what people are happy to pay for. And even in the Skyway Invest group, people are happy to invest, and we receive our commissions for what? We're not selling trains, but we're providing people with information. And our commissions are based on how many meetings we will do, how many meetings you will do a day, with how many people you will share the information, how they can become financially independent, how they can become the part of the company which can change the world. You see my point? So you need to always learn to earn more, and you need to always be updated with the market trends, and always invest into education. Myself, I have a few pots where I will distribute the money each month, and I have one pot specifically for education. So if I have in town, I don't know, Tony Robbins or Richard Branson or like other great speakers, I will try to do my best and attend the conference, because I know I invest this money into the conference because I need to have more knowledge. And as a result of this 1 or 3 day conference, I will gain even more than I invested in the first place. And that's how investors think. Number 3, basic law of private investor is financial planning. Financial planning is very important. Again, it's not just about you to earn the money from different from different assets, from different companies, different investment instruments, but it's also how you plan. Do you have a financial plan? Do you have a short-term, medium, and long-term financial plan? And so many books and so many professional companies, if you look for their advice, they will always mention about financial planning. Because if you don't know what you need money for, if you don't have your goals, which we actually went into much detail last session, then how you know how much money you need in the first place? Like, it's very difficult, it's very hard. And that's why, in the big corporations, they always have these KPIs. So they always have some KPIs to benchmark the people performance. If you're talking about the sales background, then I'm sure Per can also agree with me that in sales we have a certain number of the revenue which we need to bring per month. It could be your personal, it could be your team effort, but you always have this figure. So what is this figure? This is the financial plan. You know that you need to do certain revenue per month because you need to spend this money, or open more offices, or you pay the people salary, whatever it is. But you need to have your reasons, and your reasons will be based on your financial plans. So financial planning is an ongoing process to help you make sensible decision about money that can help you to achieve your goals in life. And financial plan is a comprehensive evaluation of investor current and future financial state by using currently known variables to predict the future cash flow as assets, values, and withdrawal plans. So we're not just looking at the balance sheet. We're not just looking at, okay, this is my income, or these are my assets, and these are my liabilities, these are my expenses. Financial plan should consist also the future predictions. So your future plans, if you have the, let's say, goal to build a house, which might cost like $500,000 to build, then you need to have a deadline, or you need to have a certain time frame where you think you will complete this house. Then you need to divide per month how much money you need to have each month towards the house building procedure, and only based on that you will be able to calculate all your liabilities per month and see what will be your goal or your targets for this specific month. Make sense? So the financial planning, it's actually a very long process. The first plan when I did it actually took me at least like 3 months almost, because it's easy to plan with your current situation, like you know how much money you approximately do per month, so you can set the goals and it's easier. But then when you're looking for kind of the future projections, when you're looking at the like medium and long-term plan, that is where it gets slightly difficult, because then you need to do more calculations, and you need to you need to go in much more detail. What is the amount of money you invest? What is the projected returns? For example, in our case, part of the financial plan for all of us will be a Skyway capitalization, because we know that within next 2 to 4 years the company go to IPO. We know approximately what will be the price per share, and we will base our financial plan on that outcome as well. But then it's not just about the Skyway. Majority of the people will have, in other income streams, which they can also base their financial planning. Or maybe you will invest in different businesses. Some of you may be invested in Bitcoin. Some of you may be invested in a blue chip company. Some of you may be invested in real estate. So your financial plan needs to consist of everything. It's one more time, it's comprehensive evaluation of your current and future financial state. And I would advise you to start with your financial plan. Go to the local advisors and ask them that you want to do the financial planning, and ask them to help to put some draft together. In London, we have lots of financial advisors, and they will do it actually the first stages. They will do it free of charge. It is, again, a long process, but you all need to complete your financial plan, because this will be your foundation. Without having this foundation, so we're talking about, remember in the first session I mentioned about the dreams, desires, and beliefs. So that is done. We done this part already, and you should have completed, your essays and, your dream boards. Now we're talking about, planning, goals, and actions. So this is the planning process. If you don't completed the planning process, I can guarantee you will not get the great results in our company or in any other company. You need to start with the foundation, and your financial plan is foundation. It will be your homework as well. So either go to high street independent consultants and ask them how to put the financial plan. I can guarantee you will learn a lot from that exercise. And number 2, you can also Google. There are lots of templates, lots of tips and hints online, which would be able for you to put the financial plan together. And once you do the financial plan, it's again it could be short term, medium, and long term, but it will definitely benefit you, big time through your for your journey. So just to summarize, so the financial plan process consists usually from six stages, could be more, could be less. Number 1, you gathering and discussing your financial information. Number 2, you understand your goals, you analyze the information, you construct a financial plan, you implement the strategies, then you review the plan and strategies annually. I recommend to do it even frequently. If it's medium or short-term plan, then you would need to review it at least on a monthly basis. So select, last Sunday of the month, have a look at your financial plan, see what you managed to achieve, what was your targets, what was your planned income, and what actually what were your projected profits or projected income, and what is your current income for that month. So do this, analytical process, because it will help you to be more up to date, it's more productive, and you will see significant difference. You will be able to think more analytically, and in our business management analytics plays huge role. And I don't know if you know, but in our back office we have a statistic tool. So if you click on the statistics on the left hand side, you will see the layer report. It's a new tool which for some reason majority of the people not even aware of. And if you click on the this layer report, you would be able to see graphically with the charts, with the percentage or from what market you receive, the commission. What is the breakdown? What country will you have high registrations? What is the breakdown for the registration? So all information which can help you to put your financial plan together is there, related to the Skyway Invest Group, obviously, is there. So click on your structure and go through analytical tools today and have a look what is there, because I'm sure that some of you are not even aware that these tools exist. So to finalize, there are a few financial plan types. And Robert Kiyosaki, in his book, he divided into secure, comfort, and rich. And Napoleon Hill also mentioned Think and Grow Rich book. Recommend you, awesome book to read. Also mentioned about importance of the financial plan, and I 100% agree with both authors. And there are so many people who are also advising to have financial plans. I recommend to read Tony Robbins' last book, Unstoppable, or why I'm struggling always with the name of this book. The latest book, which was launched on January 2017, about the financial about the importance of the investment. Not how to master your money. How to master money is old book, but now we have a new book, Unshakable or Unstoppable, something like this. One of these versions, but it's much more shorter than How to Master Your Money, but it's give you excellent overview of today's financial world. So definitely read the book. Tony Robbins, Napoleon Hill, 100%. Rich Dad, but Rich Dad is good, I guess, for someone who completely new and have no idea like how to think rich, or who have no idea what are the assets, liabilities. It's for beginners. So if you have here beginners, then start with the Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And also Cash Flow Quadrant, very good book. I read all of them. They all great, and they're all different. And also Tony Robbins, I'd recommend and watch a documentary with Warren Buffett interview. Really, really inspiring, really cool, and you will learn something new about Warren Buffett. So the financial plans, that's pretty much on the financial part. Rule number 4 is diversification. I already mentioned about this. Never put eggs in one basket, because it is too dangerous. Even if you today doing the successful business with Skyway, it will be really wrong for you to reinvest all your profit into the Skyway pre-IPO equity shares. As much as I love this company, as much as a part of the business, like full time, but I'm a big believer that you cannot invest all your money in one company. It doesn't matter how big, how great the company is, just don't do it. Because at the end of the day, you are not owner of the company. You are not sitting in Unitsky head. You don't know what could happen with the company development. There are so many things which unfortunately we cannot control. We can support with our money. We can support with our time. We can contribute the company grow. But at the end of the day, it is still a lot of decisions, lots of key things out of our hands. So therefore, as a professional investor, at least select, anything between 5 to 7 to start with investment tools, which again, we will cover in later on sessions, but do not put all eggs in one basket. Invest anything from 10 to 30% of your monthly income, and look at the different investment opportunities. So that's only how you can diverse your investment, you can grow your portfolio, and then you're not relying on only one business. You would be able to, once you learn, once you become more professional investor, you also would be learned that it's great when you have a different money into different companies in different pockets, because then at the end of the day, some companies might fail, some companies will perform, some companies will be stable. So as the average, you will learn how to have a certain percentage, which is guaranteed percentage for yourself, which you would be able to reinvest on a monthly basis, which you on a yearly basis, and which will help you to go to the path of financial freedom. Because again, if you only rely on one company, on one boss, on one job, it is too dangerous. And this is in our vision of the company, is also to provide people with other opportunities where they able to differentiate, and they able to invest the money into different ventures, into different investment segments. So rule number 5, investment discipline, stick to the plan. I guess very obvious. Don't need to comment much on this. You need to stick to the plan no matter what happens, no matter if market go up and down, and like you don't, on one month you receive the great income, next month you realize you receive the less income. Of course, you can readjust your financial plan, but at the same time always stick to it. So if you have a certain targets, just stick to it and try put all your heart and your soul into the project and do it successfully. Don't do halfway. Don't do, start doing something and then all of a sudden you change your mind. Don't do too many things at the same time, because then it will bring you, lesser result. Make sure that you concentrate on something, you have your goal set and you stick to the plan, and your investment discipline, you also stick to the plan. If I know so many people, especially who are playing in like with the stock market, with forex, it's very impulse. You see like you see that your investment goes down and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to sell it. Then you make this fast decisions, and then you realize, well, if I could have waited, then it would be even better. So don't just make rush decisions. Stick to your investment discipline. Rule number 6, don't be greedy. Greediness leads to bankruptcy. Again, don't just invest blindly all your money. I know that we are coming out to the next stage. I know that lots of people would want it to have a different more and more packages, but be realistic. Don't be greedy. Greediness will not bring you anywhere. It is not end of the world. The company will still raise the funds later on stages. Just make sure that you understand what is the amount of money you can afford to lose when it comes to the investment. What is the amount of money which you can invest and you can forget about it without stressing yourself like on a daily basis. What will happen with this money? What will happen with this money? So don't be greedy. Make the right choices. And even when the company have a different deadlines, just make sure that when you explain to people, they're not put in all these savings, not selling the cars and everything for them to invest their last money, because then these people would be so stressed. They will be calling you every day asking, so what happened, when does the company go to IPO, when I can get my money back? So don't put yourself in this situation, don't put them on this situation, and make sure that people are not again, they're not greedy. They're not put I want more shares, I will put everything in one basket, because you never know what could happen. Rule number 7, education, self-development. Self-development is the key to success. I already mentioned about this. So make sure that you always have a separate pot where you invest for your own education. And rule number 8, the last one, always multiply your investment profit, or always create the different income streams. So my question to you, how many income streams we have in our company? How many income streams we have in our company? 7. Well done, Pierre. You're the first one. Perfect. Sharon, huge well done. You see, successful people, they know this. Like, they know everything about our company. We have 7 income streams, and that is very important. It's another sort of topic. Today I'm going to talk more about the investment, but you as investor also need to always, when it comes to decision of investment or do the business with the company, how many income streams this company can provide me with. What is this investment all about? And always look to multiply your income sources, because income sources will give you more opportunity to invest. Like, it will give you opportunity to invest more money, because if you have more income sources, you can have a look and you can distribute this money into different ventures. which means that exactly it creates, wins. So the more money you invest, the more income you will have. And even if some investment will fail, there definitely going to be some investment you will not fail. So therefore, multiple income streams, some multiple income profit will allow you to create, your sort of the safe pillar where you would be able to differentiate your investment, and your strategy will be much more stronger. So instead of the, next time, instead of the going to bank and take the credit card because you need to, I don't know, your car broke and you need to spend, 5,000 to repair your car. So instead of they going to bank and ask for loan or for the credit card, what you will do, tell me what you will do instead of this. Okay, let me repeat the question one more time. So if you need extra, Sharon, no, if you need extra money, like let's say your car is broke down, right? So you need 4,000, 5,000 to repair. So instead of the you going to, access your savings, or instead of the you, going to bank and ask for the credit card, what would you do? Perfect. Any other options? Create more income. Absolutely. Yeah. Create a way to earn it. Well done, Sharon. Well done, Pierre. Exactly. So you create more income. You find it from your assets. You create the income which will be able to cover wherever the unexpected, expense happens. Of course, in certain situation, the time frame could be too short, and that's where you would have to probably access your savings, and that's what the savings for, right? To make sure that they can be accessible at any time. But if you have like a few days or few like weeks, and you need to urgently to find this money, then the best way is to create, create income sources. In our company, income sources is, the presentations, because once you do the presentations, you know that by the end of the day, the person will invest, and that is your income source. So if you want to have more income, you need to do more presentations. Simple as. Amount of presentation will positively influence your your income, and will definitely contribute to one of your income streams. That's how simple it is in our company. Have a rich husband. Well, I'm not sure, you see, that could be quite risky. So what if something goes wrong, and then rich husband comes and then leaves, then it's going to be difficult. But with assets, they always there, so you can have them, you can have access to them, every time. So you see, even have a husband, in nowadays, it's risky. You cannot rely on it 100%, unfortunately. So that's we're done with the part number 1. Now let's take like 10 minutes break, just to have something to maybe to drink, like coffee or tea, and then let's be back here in 10:15. Now it's 10:30, so let's do 10:45. Okay, so 15 minutes break. I just need to drink something hot, otherwise I'll lose my voice. So 15 minutes break, and we're here for the second part, which is capitalization. It's a big part. It's one of the excited parts ever. I love this topic. And then last part will be about different investor types. So we have 2 more topics to go, and then that will be all for today. So 15 minutes break. We are here back on quarter. Now it's 25. Actually, let's do 20 to 11, right? For exactly 15 minutes.
الو سلام استاذ. آواز میاد؟ چیز گپ شده که آواز نمیاد؟
Who is this speaking Farsi? Hello? Yeah, whoever it is shouting. Right now, the webinar is on break. Mila is probably making herself a cup of tea, but this is a training session for Master Profi 2. So if you have missed it, just join it. So there's a lot of people on this room. Maybe put yourself on mute, and when she comes back, she'll carry on with the training.
All right. Are we back now? I'm back. Okay, so here we have here. I'm disconnected. Oh, we just had a quick break. Okay, Sharon here. Who else? Just put pluses or yeah, like tell me like if you hear, then I'll know. Shall I start or shall I wait for another few minutes? So Sharon and Harin, only two people.
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you. Two people. There were some other people shouting here.
Yeah, Hanif, you're number 3.
I'm number 3. Okay, so somebody was shouting in Farsi. I don't know who it was.
All right. Okay, Aaron here as well. Sheila here. Okay, so we had like 6 people. What about the rest of the team? Another 10. Are you guys here, or you just turning your computer on and then you're busy with your other stuff?
Who?
All right.
No. Well, you're going to be. I'm doing the trading, so I'm a forex junkie.
Oh, you see, so you implemented it straight away. I'm just talking about it, and you're already doing it.
No, I've got a lot of open trade managing it.
Yeah. Oh, great.
So that's why you should learn the skill. Whoever is actually today is in this webinar should learn the skills rather than just relying on other people. So I relied on the guy who missed my account, so I'm trying to fix it.
Well, maybe you can share with us some
running
success stories as well, and it will be good to also add a few other instruments, to differentiate, not to put eggs in one basket, huh?
Definitely. I mean, that's a good rule you teach me. I'm just saying, okay, I've got a few things going on, so I should really focus and make a success.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Okay, well, let's start. I guess people who are here, I can see we have Sheila and Matthew as well, a few other replies. So let's just crack with it. Very important topic, capitalization. And first of all, do you know these companies, right? The top 5 richest companies in the world. This actually data was taken from last year, capitalization, like from, what is his name? Bloomberg. So the number 1 is Apple, 604 billion. Then Alphabet, or like we know this company is Google, 518 billion. Then Microsoft, 437, Amazon, 280, and Berkshire Hathaway's 350. Actually should switch with Amazon. But these are the top richest companies in the world. And do you know what this, like for example, Apple, 604 billion. What is it? What does this number represent? Anyone knows? How you call this? What does it represent, this number? Anyone? No one knows what this number represents. So what are this 604 billion?
Company evaluation.
The company worth, company evaluation. Yeah, exactly. But in other words, is also capitalization of the company. And this is the topic of our topic today, is capitalization. So let's start with the sorry, it's jumping again. Let's start with the basics. So what is capitalization? The term capitalization is derived from the word capital. Hence, it will be appropriate to understand the first meaning of the capital. The term capital is an accounting literature, means the net worth of the company. Net worth means assets minus liabilities. So economists use this term capital to mean that all accumulated wealth used to produce additional wealth. So in our case, if we look back to the companies like Apple and Alphabet and Microsoft, so company capitalization would actually means, as Sharon also put in the chat, the worth of, related to the share price, but also this is, if you look at their capital, the separate word, which is the net worth of the company, which means you take all the company assets, which is all the income streams, minus all the company liabilities, which are company expenses. So that's how you can calculate the net worth of the company or capital. But terms capitalization, it actually means what is the total worth of the company, what is the value of the company, what are the share value of the company. So if Apple, let's say in 2004, the share price, I believe it was like around 50 or something like this, $50. I might be wrong, but like I remember 2 years ago, it was like around $50 or $60, something like this. So the company valuation was, much more less. So you do all shares company has times the price per share, then you would be able to see the valuation. So today, if you do the calculations, if you divide 604 billion divided by amount of or the price per share in Apple Corporation, then you would be able to see what is the amount of the shares company owns. Make sense? So it's very simple formula. You use the net worth of the company divided by share price, and you would be able to see the total amount of shares company put into the market. If you, for example, if you know the amount of shares, but you don't know the price of it, then you do 604 divided by total number of shares, and you will end up with what is the price per share. But these are the top richest companies in the world. And what is, in our case in Skyway, what is the minimum price per share will be when we go to the stock market? Or what is the, not even, let me put in different, reword it. You all are seeing the certificate from GTI, Global Transport Investment, right? So you all know how many shares we have in company. Just type it or say it out loud. What is the total amount of shares company has? Can you hear me? Hello? 400 billion. Perfect. Yeah. 400 billion. Correct. Correct. And nominated price per share is $1. So when the company goes to IPO, the minimum price per share will be $1. Because if you look at the certificate GTI has, it was says that we have 400 billion, something like millions of shares, nominated price $1 per share. Which means that through this top richest companies in the world, we will be one of the top companies. Make sense? Because our nominated price per share, taken through the all the patents and evaluations and everything, is minimum $1, which will position ourselves on a top 5 richest companies in the world. But at the same time, of course, we need to build the kilometers. Certain job scope needs to be done for us to achieve the certain price per share. And we also we're not looking to sell them all in the market. So therefore, you need to also, when you calculate the company capitalization, and when you look at these figures, you need to understand what is the proportion, like what is the percentage wise where company gives that to the market for the stock exchange, and what is the proportion the company keep it for itself for the development in between the directors. But they just to give you a brief understanding what means capitalization and what are this top richest company in the world, this number, what does it represent. Okay, so going further, very interesting. So the company Philip, sorry. So the company is not currently worth 400 billion. 400 billion, it is the company evaluation taken into consideration that technology will be fully certified, park will be fully completed, and a certain amount of kilometers to be built. After all this been completed, then the company will go to the stock market with a price of at least $1 per share. When this will happen, then the company evaluation will be 400 billion. Yeah. At the moment, we're still, startup, so we're not profitable. So therefore, we cannot be, a top 5 futures company in the world, because we have made like 0 profit so far. For us to make the profit, we need to build the projects. For us to build the projects, technology needs to be certified. For us, technology to be certified, we need to raise more money to give Unitsky so he can continue building and certifying whatever he has today in Ecotechnopark. So that is the logic behind it. You're welcome. Let's have a look at this slide. Very important. So I want you to put the full attention. So you see here you have on the bottom 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 25, 30s. So these numbers represent that if persons start to put aside, let's say, $200 per $200 per month. So we multiply it by 12 and multiply it by 5 years. So it will be 1,800 within the 5 years, then 3,610 years, 5,415, 7,220 years, and so on. But what if the same person will not just put the same amount of money every month for the next 30 years? What if this person will put this amount of money every month, but under percentage, which will be 12% per 12%? So then we do the different calculations. So within the 5 years, the amount of money he will have on his account would be 2,450. In 10 years, it will be 6,900. In 15 years, it will be 14,987. In 20 years, 26,677. And in 25 years, 56,365. And by the 30 years, by the end of the 30 years, it will be 105,987. So what this represents, that's if today person invest just $1 per day for the 30 days times 30 years, the total amount will be 10,800 after 30 years. But if the same person will find opportunities, not one opportunity but different opportunities, where same amount invested will be under like 12%, then the total amount by the end of the period, which is 30 years, will be 105,987, which will give that person 95,000 in growth. Big difference, right? Same amount of money, same exercise, you put aside every day, every month for the next 30 years, but such a significant difference. Right? The difference is 95,000 more, 95,000 growth compared to just a person who just put the money without putting any percentage on the top. So what is called, you're all familiar with it. It is the difficult percentage. We all learn the difficult percentage from school. So it is not a myth. It is not, it is not someone just come up with. This is math. So this is mathematical formulas. And for some reason, today people do not pay attention for this formula at all. Today people, they don't understand, or they've forgotten, or they don't even think about it. But if you look at this table, you will actually realize a very important thing. Let's have a look at the first graph. So if your salary, let's say only $100 per month, so your salary only 100, then by rules which we have learned in the previous sessions, you need to put aside at least 10% from your income, which give you $10 per month, right? And let's say you find a place, or you find like investment instruments which can provide you with 8% return or 8% investment yield on every month per month. Then what you will realize that by the end of the year one, $10 per month will be worth of $204.95. By the end of the year two, it's going to be $721. And what is interesting is if you go through further and if you look at the year 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, you will see significant difference. And that's how today anyone in the world, doesn't matter how big or how small your income, the point is that anyone today can put at least $10 per month, for your savings for the next 10 years. And if you find any investment instruments which will give you 8% yield, then by the year 10, your $10 will be worth of 1,348,019. How cool is that? And we're just talking about the simple math. This is not, again, this is not like a magic, even though actually Tony Robbins in his book, he called it, we have 7 wonders of the world. So he called it 8 wonder of the world. And Andre book as well, he called their difficult percentage, 8 wonder of the world. Because for some reason, people, they don't understand the power of compounding. The people don't understand the power of the interest when the money starts generating more money. And if you look at all the examples, let's say your salary per month, let's have a look on the graph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 500, right? 500. That's your salary. You put 8%, you put aside, which is $50 per month. And the same calculation, you will realize by the year 8, you will reach your 1 million. So again, today, anyone in the world who would at least, put $50 per month for the under the 8% percentage, under 8% yield, this person will receive 1 million as the capitalization. That's how money works for money. And if you have a look at the last graph, which is even better, if today you put not 10% of your income, taking consideration that you earn only 500, let's say you put 30% on side, which will be $150 per month, and you put on the investment where you receive 10% income, 10% yield guaranteed. So then you will end up on your year 6, you will end up having 1.5 million. If you have a look on the year 10 years, right? 10 years is not that long, it's 10 years. We're not talking about 30s to 40 and 50 years. In 10 years time, if person put aside $150 every single month for the 10% interest, that by the year 10, this person will have 152,978,313,50 dollars on his or her account. How cool is that? So put some share what do you guys think, because I think this is one of the powerful realization that people today have this misleading information that only rich people can be richer. Only if you're rich, you can invest the money. If I don't have enough money, if I'm not rich, then what am I going to invest? If I only have $10, where am I going to invest this $10? And if you look at the SWIG capitalization, actually, the figures even higher, because the percentage will be much more higher. And that is why even people today who invest $100, they can end up having, in just 2 to 4 years time, they can have a very good portfolio. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe for $100 is today 24,000 pre-IPO equity shares. So that's how you can, realize the potential of compounding. And if you will keep, putting more and more money without you, withdrawing them, without you to, in 1 month you put, in another month you forget, if you're going to stick to the investment discipline, if you're going to stick to the old rules which I mentioned to you previously, and you will put this money every single month, at least if it's, $10 per month, then by the end of the year 10, you will earn your first million. And again, you can see at the beginning, you might think, it's such a small numbers, especially if you look at the year 1, you only earn $200. Like, how many of you today have this $200 already? How many of you have, $721 already? How many of you have maybe 5,000 already or 13,000 day bank accounts? So then your time span will be much more shorter. But what is the key here? The few components. Number one is discipline. You need to put this money regardless. Number two, you don't withdraw the money, you don't change your mind, you stick to it. And number three, you need to find the place where you can, or places rather, where you can have this guaranteed percentage on a monthly basis. And that is the question you all should have asked me, in the chat. So, great. I show you that is possible. It's called compounding interest. You can Google it. You will find hundreds of thousands different stories where people actually became very rich by investing really little on a longer period of time. Because again, if you look at the investment from professional point of view, and again, it's something mentioned in Warren Buffett movie, and that's how he made his fortune. He said, I stick to the, very simple step, to the financial, very simple discipline. I would put certain amount of money every time. I will look for companies who are undervalued. Then I will put certain amount of money. I will do this regardless. I will not withdraw my money, and I'm looking for the long-term profit. And that's how investors look at the kind of in investment world. They have short-term, medium-term, and long-term. But in the long term, that is where you're going to get your biggest returns. Because if you look at how many people today, they are become the millionaires within 10 years. If you look at yourself 10 years ago, if you probably knew this information 10 years ago, then you already could have have the million in your accounts, or maybe even more. But because probably 10 years or 20 years ago, no one even talk about this, no one talk about this simple steps, a simple formula which you need to follow. It was really hard, and still it is, for people just to all of a sudden wake up in the morning and let me Google what is compound interest. I want to change my life. Unfortunately, it's not happening. And unfortunately, in our media world today, there are lots of misleading information, like only rich people can become richer. Investment, you can only invest if you have at least like 10,000 or 5,000 of money. You need to have lots of money for you to invest. This is all not true. This is misleading information. And this chart, this table clearly explains you why is that. And anyone today, you can start with even like $10, or even with the $1. With $1, it will take you even longer. But it's not about how many years by the end of the day. It's about, can I get it with $1? And the answer will be yes, you can. And we're in Skyway Invest Group. Again, today we are supporting Unitsky with his technology. We want, one company goes to IPO, when I see the great success, when I do the targeted projects. But at the same time, Andre, understand that, we need to differentiate. We need to look at the different on other technology and other investment instruments, because that is how we can achieve this guaranteed percentage. Because this is the catch. The catch is not just on discipline, and trust me, lots of people, they will fail on investment discipline, but the catch is also where to find this guaranteed percentage. Because if this percentage is not guaranteed for the next 10 years, then the result will be completely different. And we in Skyway Invest Group, we want to provide the people with the different portfolios, which will include investing into different instruments, include the Skyway targeted projects, for instance. But then we will have a portfolio full of other investment instruments. And then to the day, we will reach this guaranteed percent together with you guys. And this is our aim. Andrei Havrata, one of the, if you look at the company vision and mission, you will actually realize that his mission is to have 1 million millionaires with the next 3 years. And the 3 years started not from today, 3 years started from 2014. And we're actually, with the Skyway, we are on the right track. We have so many people who already today, the millionaires on paper, but once company goes to, IPO public, then of course all these people will become, rich, and they will reach the financial independence. But for those people who are looking for extra mile, for those people who want to reach the financial freedom, then that will be something for you guys. We want to create the portfolio where people can start with a very small amount of money, but do this, on a monthly basis. Every month you put this money aside, and you will gain the great returns by the end of their 10 years time, 20 years time, and so on. So please take the print screen of this table, because your homework would be to calculate everything yourself. I wanted you not just to trust me on this. I don't want you just, like think, yeah, well, it's look like it's possible, but yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe this, misleading numbers. I wanted you to test yourself. Whatever I give you, you go and test. Whatever, you heard from other coaches or other trainers, you take and you go and test yourself. And one of the homeworks will be for you to calculate capitalization, because I want you to realize that anyone today with a small amount of money can achieve the million. $10 can be turned into 1 million in 10 years time, easily, very easily. So therefore, homework will be to calculate capitalization. I will share this with you in our chat after the session. And I want you to take this homework serious, because once you go through the calculations, then you will realize it's yourself. One thing is just, believe in what I'm saying, but another thing is complete yourself, do this formula, calculate everything yourself, and you will be amazed. And then you can do this. Actually, this capitalization is a big part of your financial plan, because you know how much money realistically you can put per month. You know that it has to be between 20 to 30% from your income at least. So you need to calculate how much money you will generate every month, which you can put towards the investment, and calculate with 8%, calculate with the 5%. If you look at the there are different types of portfolios. I don't want to now kind of confuse you, but if you look at the conservative portfolio, for example, percentage will be anything between 2 to 4%, and that is very realistically to reach. So you can have a look at the very conservative, which is only 4%, or you can look at more aggressive portfolio when you maybe invest into the different risky businesses, but then percentage could be 10 and 12 or more. So just take the percentage which you feel you will be comfortable with, calculate your own capitalization, your own income, whatever you can put inside. I will send you the table, and please do the calculations. Make sure that you do this, because after you complete it, you will, the huge realization will come to you. And just to summarize this topic of capitalization, I want to ask you to do one exercise. So this is for you. Please listen carefully. I want all of you contributed. So let's say we have two scenarios. We have Mr. X and we have Mr. Y. So Mr. X, he saved $200 per month from 1986. So every month he will put in this 200, 200, 200, 200 for the next 30 years. And the end of the term, we do 200 per month times 360 months, which is 72,000. Yeah. So it's 70,000 per 365 days. Let's say like 360, I guess. We didn't calculate for entire year, but this is 72,000 per year, right? So this is scenario A. Scenario B, Mr. Y, he saved 400 per month from 1986, and he his financial plan was for 20 years of savings. So it's 400,000 times 240 months in his case, and we got 96,000 as the result of the term. So the question for you is, what will be the return by the end of the 2016, right? So 30 years from 1986 and 20 years from 1996, if they both have invested at the same instrument with 8% annum. Are you clear with the question? So you have these two scenarios. One guy, Mr. X, he saved 200 per month from 1986 for 30 years, right? So Mr. Y, he put 400 for the 20 years. So question to you, what will be the return by the end of the by the end of the 2016, taking into consideration the financial terms, if they have invested at the same time with the same instrument, which give them 8% per annum? Who you think will, at the end of the term, who you think will gain more, Mr. X or Mr. Y? For those people who already complete this, don't put like in front of everyone, because I know a few people, you know the answer. This is for new people. Who you think will be more successful, Mr. X or Mr. Y? Please share this in chat now. It's all clear, right? The question, I hope it's all makes sense. So I want to see your predictions. So what do you think? Which one will be more successful, or which one will have a better return, and why you think so? Let's have a look. So this is scenario. So guys, do you understand the question? I don't see anyone typing at all. Can you hear me? Can you hear what I said previously in the past 20 minutes? Yes. Okay. I'm not sure how I calculated. It's fine. Just what do you think? Just tell me what do you think? Which one will be more successful? So we have two scenarios, Mr. Y or Mr. X. Okay, how do you think Mr. Y? How do you think Mr. X? Any other option? What do you think? Y, X? Okay, what other? I'm gonna everyone to input their opinion, guys. Everyone, literally everyone. I'm not gonna move to the answer unless you provide me with your opinion. I'm not saying it like right or wrong. Just look at the slide. It's everything is very like written clearly. What is your opinion? Who will gain higher return, Mr. X or Mr. Y? So Y, X, Y, both, Mr. X. We have some questions. Okay, so we have Ali. What do you think? Per, what do you think? Termur, Aaron, what do you think? Terhata, your opinion? Ash, Philip already mentioned. Manjula, Sheila, then you already mentioned. What is your guys' opinion? Oh, you're still working on it. Okay. Some of you try to calculate, right? But what is your gut telling you? Which one you think will gain more? Okay, thank you, Ash. Okay, do you want to know the answer? Are you sure? Yes. Good. So you're here, you're present. Perfect. So the right answer will be Mr. X. It's very, funny how it works. If you look at if you would present this and try to do this with your own teams, because most of you have, teams you're working with. So if you look at the two scenarios, you would think, Mr. X, he saved 200 per month for 30 years of saving. But then Mr. Y, he put twice more for 20 years. So 95% of the people, without them going to the calculation, they will say Mr. Y, because they assume that the more money you start with, the better result you will have. And it is, true, of course, the more money you start with, the better the better outcome would be. But the key here is, what is the key here? What is the factor which differentiate, in this case, Mr. X and Mr. Y? Time. Correct. Absolutely. Well done, Sally and Philip. Well done. It's time. So time is, everything. And if you look at the investment from a long-term perspective, that is how even with a small amount of money, with a longer time, you can beat the people who are invested, large sum of money, but then they withdraw or they change their mind. They start, invest in one business, then they changed the mind, they took the money, they tried to do one portfolio, then they wanted to change the portfolio. And that's how, if you look at them, mutual funds or hedge funds, that's how they make money. They make money every time when people moving their money, they are making the money. So for them, it doesn't really matter if you're successful or not, they will be successful. It doesn't matter for them if you will gain return or not, they will gain return anyway, because they get paid for every single transactions you made, every single movement you do with your money, they will get paid for that. So therefore, if you look at the investment from long-term perspective, even started with the small money, you can reach, higher returns on as soon as it's long-term. You can start with a larger amount of money, but if you only put this on the shorter period of term or shorter time, then you will earn less. And you see the difference actually significant. So if you look at the how, if you break it down, this slide, fundamentals of the capitalization, so you will actually realize that Mr. X gained much more higher return compared to the Mr. Y. He started with the less amount of money, so he ended up investing even less amount of money, but as a result of the time exposure, as a result of the long-term investment, he gained even more. So let's now talk about, a bit of about the financial terms. So amount of the investment deductions would be your investment amount for the whole period of time, which is 72,000 on this case. Capital income will be calculated amount of investment plus income itself. So in our case, the capital income is 281. So it will be amount of investment, which is 72,000, plus the income itself, which is 209,000, and you do 72 plus 209, you get 281. So you will call it capital income. So what income your capital provided you with. And the last one is capitalization. So what is capitalization? Is the capital income minus the amount of investment deduction, which is capital income is 2009. So we do capital income, which is 281 minus 72, and you have 209,000. So this is the capitalization. So it's the difference between what you gain minus the amount you started with, and that's how you calculate your money capitalization. Yeah, this is a bit more technical because we talk about the financial terms, but then you need to know that the basics for you to also explain this to your team. And I want you to go back to your family and to your friends and just take the print screen of this and ask them the simple question. So who you think will be more successful? And you will be surprised how many people will actually say, of course, Mr. Y, what are you talking about? He invested 2 times more. But if you do the calculations, if you do it, if you do the capitalization using the cumulative percentage, you will realize that actually the person X will gain more. So I hope it all makes sense. Can you please put pluses if you understand the basics of capitalization? What is capitalization, how you can calculate the capitalization, and if the table with the cumulative percentage also makes sense for you. Put plus if you understand this topic, and minus if you're still not sure. Philip, Manjula, thank you. Mati, Sally, well done. Perfect. So moving forward, your homework will be, first of all, to go through capitalization basics one more time, because again, it's a very important topic. You can attract people, invest in Skyway technology by using this single topic, which is capitalization. You can come to anyone today and approach and say, do you want to know how you can make, $1, how you can convert $1 into 1 million? And it's not hypes. I'm not talking about some dodgy business. I'm talking to you about, existing model. I'm talking to you about the tangible transport solution which can change the world. And I can tell you how even with a small investment, you can become, you can reach your targets, whatever it's million or I don't know, 5 million, whatever the money you want to accrue at the end of the day. I can show you how you can do this with our company. Only with this one, with knowing the capitalization, you would be able to sell the idea of them investing into the Skyway. Because at the day, it is investment links with education, because once people understand, they will invest, trust me. We have a technology which is, sell itself as well in the mission and vision of the company. So therefore, and we have a business part, which is also, allow people not to wait for capitalization, but you can create more assets, and as a result of it, you can invest even larger sum of money into different business, include the Skyway. So your homework will be to calculate how much you invest in the next 30 years. So what will be your monthly what will be your sum of money which you're happy to invest on a monthly basis. Calculate it using the different amounts. You can do 12 per annum, or 24 per annum, 36 per annum, or you can do returns per month. It's easier to calculate actually per annum rather than per month. I did all my calculations per annum. I think it's it's really much more faster, because if you do per month, then your tables will be huge. But it's up to you. Also note in which months the amount of money interest will be greater than the amount of invested in the first months. Determine how you feel at the different interest rates, and at what rate would you like to invest and why. At what rate you will be happy. So make sure that when you do this calculation, you use different scenarios, and you know better your income, you know better how much you can invest. So have a look at the worst case scenario and best case scenario, and then choose the middle one, the one you will feel comfortable with. And then you will realize how many years you need for you to achieve your financial goals. And also describe the feelings you experience while you doing the task. And we will look at the capitalization, not for the next session, because next session will be about the building business in Skyway. For next investment session, I will have a look at your capitalization homework, and we will go through all these questions, okay, with you guys, because I want you to do this exercise, because it's very powerful, and lots of things you will realize as you go and as you perform this exercise. I can promise you that. I saw previous courses. I know how people reacted when they look at the capitalization part, and it's actually lots of people after this exercise, they start looking into different investment tools as well, maybe not as active, because if you concentrate on so many businesses, then you will end up not doing nothing. But if you look at the passive investment, where you can just park amount of money with a certain percentage, that is where you can start generating the small portfolio for yourself. But as the company, as the Skyway Invest Group, we also will prepare some variations of different portfolios for you guys, which will be there available more likely from next year onwards. So this is capitalization part with your homework. And part number 3, which is very briefly, I will talk about investors' levels. There are different levels, and by the end of this session, you would be able to tell me what level you are at the moment. But let's start with the first one. First one is actually called minus level. So this will be the people who are they're not investors themselves. In fact, they don't even have enough money for them to invest into anything. They're really struggling. These are people who who think that everything is so difficult, and these are people who simply don't have enough income for them into even to start educate themselves on importance of the investment. So these are minus level people. And I like this from Andre book. If you suddenly felt that you hurt heavily, the most important thing is to find the strength and rise. Having reason, you already got experience, which next time come very handy. Which means that even if you today in a situation where everything is go out of your hand, out of your control, you're really struggling to meet your ends, you have no support, and you're no bottom of that level, you're minus level investor, then it's fine. Whatever the experience you had, it's still your experience. We can always learn from our past mistakes. We can always learn from our past success as well. So use this as not the factors to demotivate you, but use this as the push, as the exercise, as look at this as I had it before, and now I know how not to be on that place. Let me now have a look what I need to do next. And if you have these people in your warm circle, or if these are people among your friends and family, then show them capitalization. Show them that even with a small amount of money, people can look at this. We have lots of materials in our website which is actually for free. People can just register using your referral link, and they can look and they can learn what I mentioned to you so far. If you click on the education tab, you will have a very handy material which actually describe what I just teaching you now. The fundamentals, they also there. Maybe not on that detail, but for someone new who haven't heard about it will be enough material to start with. So make sure that you help these people, especially if they're your closest friends and family. You want to be successful, and at the end of the day, if you're successful by yourself, can you really call it success? You want your friends to enjoy with you. You want your friends come and travel to you, right? You don't want to end up, spending all your money for your tickets and then all your family and friends tickets because they don't have any money, so they can't travel with you, and you don't want to travel by yourself. So you will end up, spending the money for all of them. Then it's like, I guess after a few years, you will realize that you don't have enough money at the end of the day. So instead of they're just, taking them with you and spending your money on them, teach them how to make their own money. Give them tools how they can become successful in a company. Because again, the business we have doesn't happen every day. And once people are understand the fundamentals of the investment, is the best gift for them ever. Because once they start learning, once they start having the knowledge, then they will be able to differentiate different companies. They will be they will be able to differentiate different investment instruments, and they would have enough knowledge for them to make the right decision. But they all need to start with something. So let our back office, our investment fundamentals, let for them they provide them this material, and let this material be foundation for them, and they will be thankful for you for the rest of their lives, because you will change their life significantly. Once people learn it and they understand it, then they will definitely take in actions. Because once you show anyone in the world today that even with their $10, even with $1, you can earn your first million like in 20-30 years and more, then trust me, the mindset, the way how they think will definitely switch definitely. Number 2 is zero level. These are very dangerous people, and I'm sure you know this too. So these are people who don't want to listen, they don't want to see, they didn't have a time, they don't believe, they said, you know what, it's not for me, I don't believe, it's all pyramids, it's all Ponzi. And no matter what you tell them, no matter even if you will tell them today, invest in the Bitcoin because, projected value of the Bitcoin will be 10,000 by the end of the year, they will still tell you, Bitcoin, I don't believe in it, I don't see in it, like, I don't want to do it. So even if it becomes something very obvious, these people will be the one who will say, like, they will be close to information. No matter what you tell them, they not be able to, like, you cannot convince them. This is very dangerous level to be at. And these are the hardest people to deal with because they don't want to listen, they don't want to see, and it's like a wall between you and them. So if you know these people in your warm circle, then be careful of them because they can really drag you down with them. So make sure that you're not under their influence. Make sure that somehow you get them to your level. It's actually easier to deal with their minus investor level than with the zero level. Because zero level people, they would usually, these are who have, income enough and liabilities. So this will be probably middle class people who are just have a job, they spend the money, they go holiday once a year, they don't believe in the investment, they think like, the world is against them, and they okay with it, they don't want to change, they don't want to look at it. Very dangerous crowd. But even with them, you can change their mindset, but it will take some time, and you need to be really convenient to do this. And well, of course, you need to have a will to do this in the first place. Number 3 is first level amateur investor. So this will be people who understand that all losses are given from gaining experience. So small loss or big one, it doesn't really matter, it's still experience. First level amateur investor will be people who tried already different investment, they failed, or the company gets shut, or all of a sudden they realize that it's a pyramid scheme, but at the same time they okay with it. It's not end of the world. Some investors from level 1 will downgrade to level 0 because after this experience they're like, you know what, I told you this will happen. I hate when people are telling this. These are the people who were first level, they downgraded to 0. But our aim is not to downgrade, but our aim is to go further to level 2, 3, 4, and 5, and etc. So first level, people who already tried, they aware about investment. They might, did a few investments previously. They might be not successful, but they're still okay with it. They understand that, whatever small loss or big loss, it's still experience. Number 2 will be in different subcategories. The clever investor. Clever investor will be, they know everything, and they very and they against the difference between 0 level, that these people, they never try investing, they don't believe that it's working at all. The clever investor, it's a second level. So clever investor once been level 1, which means that clever investor probably was the one who was excited at the beginning about investment. He started to learn about investment, look at the different companies. He probably the one who saw this advertisement, you don't need to recruit, you don't need to do nothing, you just put your money and we will do everything for you. So he thought, okay, very simple, I can do this. Put the money into, some companies, maybe even like Forex or like trading company, and, some management fund or like under some manager who trade the money on behalf of you. And then you actually realize that manager is okay, but then you lost your money. And then you start, developing this scenario in your head that it is not okay to have a bad experience. Bad experience mean, everything is pyramid. So because of that experience, you now know that everything is scam. The people just want to take advantage of your money. So these are the people who sort of, I need to put the money into my ISA account. This is the only safe way. I can only, save my money, but putting them in a bank or under my pillow or whatever it is. So they call themselves clever because they already started to learn about investment. They know what does investment look like, but at the same time, they against of any opportunity because once or twice they've been taken advantage and they lose their money. Number 2 would be players. So it's level 2 B category. This will be full-time or part-time people who actually make money, lose money, but then they play themselves. So they're not giving money to someone else. They actually take responsibility for their own financial. And it's very important because it's easier, of course, and that's what lots of the traders or the stock the forex managers, they will use this selling line saying, oh, you can trust us with your money, or I can show you my historical success that you can see every month I'm making money. Well, first of all, past performance is not necessary directly related to the future performance, because past performance in the past is not necessary. If you were successful in the past, 2 years, you will be successful next 2 years. But also, if you trust money in someone else's hands, then who are you there to blame? Yourself or the person who you given money in the first place? But then the person you given money in the first place, at least he can he can play with whatever portfolio he has, and he will definitely make money. But what about you? If you cannot, rely on yourself, you don't trust yourself, you prefer to trust someone else. But then you're the one who can blame in the first place, because instead of going there yourself, you decided to give someone else responsibility, give someone else your money. And then if something goes wrong, you will be the one who will blame that person. But at the end of the day, it's you the one who gave the money, not the opposite. And I can give you, 95% that all these managers in Forex who managing the people money, they will never make themselves, in minus, because they understand whatever you like making money or losing money, they still making money out of it. And the C category would be long-term investment. So long-term investor. This will be the person who's looking for the long-term profit. So we're talking about investors like who will look at the different income where he understands that, I can only get the best returns investing in the long term. So we're talking about, next 10 to 20 to 30 years. And they're very careful. These are people who, who can calculate all the risks. They would be able to look at different strategies. So they always, learn how to become better, and usually they have a good returns, because if you look at their, even statistically, they all long-term investment usually will bring you good returns. The only thing is, today people don't want to wait long term. They want to have, invested today and withdraw tomorrow. And this is the problem for so many people who are looking for, shortcuts, who are looking for their short-term profit, because that is where it becomes risky, and that is where there are different hypes and pyramids exist, usually for like 3 years maximum, where they can gain all these investors excited that they will get, short-term profit. At the end of the day, the company claim themselves bankrupt and people losing money. But long-term investors understand that the best profit will come only long-term. So therefore, they're looking for long-term investment. They're very selective. They look at the details. They do on due diligence. They use different strategy how to invest. And as a result of it, they will receive the good returns. Level number 3 is constant investor. This will be the one who understand about the world markets. So they're not just necessarily invest like kind of locally, but they look at the global market. So these will be investors with the different portfolios. When they have experience, they have a financial plan, which is, from, I don't know, for the next 30 years, everything is, taken into considerations. All risks are calculated with the different worst case scenario. They have, best case scenario, worst case scenario. So these are the people who are professionals in the field, and these are the people who invest, globally, cross sector, cross market. And of course, for you to be that level, you need to spend much more time on getting yourself, getting the knowledge about the financial world. These are the people who will start the day probably reading, Financial Times, and see, what happened with the world. Are there any opportunities? This will be the very open-minded people who look at the different companies. But from another hand, if you look at the Skyway, like in our business, we don't have that much experience of constant investors yet, because for them the local projects would be the right thing to invest, because they don't necessarily looking for short-term profit, and they're not necessarily looking for the high risk projects to invest. They're looking for something more stable, where they understand that they have lots of multiple portfolios globally, and they would want it to, for example, add to local project development, because local project development is going to be certain percentage guaranteed, because we know what is the project profitability, we know what the project term, we know what is the project's KPI, and etc. So these people would be not necessarily interested to invest in a Skyway technology at the beginning when it was too risky, but these are definitely people who will join our company once we talk about the project development stages. Number 4, experience. So these are professional people who work for the banks, for the hedge funds, the people who are financial consultants or wealth advisors, wealth managers. And these are people who created opportunity for long-term investors, for other people. These are hedge management, the funds, the managers. So these are people who will select different portfolios, but not just for own sake, but these are experienced people to work with these are people who can work with other people as well. So this would be people having certain education. This will be the people who have certain, degrees and background, maybe working with investment banking, or they are financial consultants. So they can help you, for example, to put the financial plan together. They can help you and to show you what will be the right financial strategy for you to invest. So these are experienced people, and they are number 4 because they create opportunities themselves for long-term investment for other people. And number 5, which is the last one, called professional. So these are the people who investment becomes main profession. They spend a lot of time managing the capital. They prefer to create portfolio in their own, combining various tools. They clearly understand the pros and cons of each instrument. They're able to manage risk. They have own clear investment rules. The virtually all financial structures in the world are fighting for such investor client as permanent. Sorry, I jumped. They clearly understand the pros and cons of which used instrument. They're able to manage risk. They have own clear instrument rules. Virtually all financial structures of the world are fighting for such investor clients as permanent investors. So who are these people? As you see, they are rule makers themselves. So they will not go for, existing, hedge fund and say, well, I have this money, I want to invest. They're the one who will create their own investment plan, their own investment discipline. They're the one who will, who manage the capital sort of themselves, but not alone, with other, consultants, with other head managers, with other consulting companies. So they are the one who sits, on the top, and other people serve them and provide them with the best offers, with their, all the analytics, all the market research and everything. They are there just to select what is the best for them to invest. So therefore, lots of financial institutions today, they're looking for professional investors because they understand that, first of all, professional investor can positively correspond with the image of the fund. And also this will be people with a large amount of money to invest. They're looking for the long-term investment. And of course, these are the best people to work with because professional investors, they also inside investors. So they will be able to share some, information which usual people will never even learn from, newspapers, or will never learn from the TV or the social media channels. So for this reason, that almost all financial companies have a high level of investment training. In many financial companies, the training is much higher and more modern than in many colleges and academic where financiers are trained. I guess today, if you look at their what's called our kind of university, I'm not even sure what level people will, but once you graduate, let's say some financial degree or investment degree or economy, I'm not even sure what level investor you could become. Because again, unless you practice, unless you do the extra mile, it's very hard for people even to become, level 3 investor, where you start looking at the portfolios, you have your financial plan, you have your, strategy, how to grow. Even on that level, for majority of the people would be, very hard to reach. So the level 5, which is the professional investor, these will be, few people in the world who actually understand the bigger picture inside out. And our game as our company would be not necessary to make people the professional, to take them to the level 5, but we're looking for people who would be able to at least be, level 3 constant investor, where people would be able to understand all the pros and cons. The people would be to they would be able to make the wise decision based on information, based on their due diligence. And these are the people who will who can successfully create portfolios. And these are the people who we will really wanted to work with on the future projects, in terms of deciding what projects to join, in terms of making decision what would be good for the company and therefore for people to invest into. So now I hope it all makes sense, and tell me where you see yourself at the moment, who you think you are. Are you minus level 0, first, second, third, fourth, or maybe even fifth? I don't know. So tell me where you think you are at this moment of time. First. Okay, good. Do we have anyone who is 0? Do you have anyone who second level? Second level would be clever players or long-term investors. Only Philip. So what about the rest of the group? Number 3. Okay, so we have number 3. Perfect. Or maybe even number 4. Oh, wow. Great. Number 2, 3, 4. 3. Perfect. 5. Majula, really? You think you're level 5? That's very impressive. Then maybe, you should join me on this during this session, because I'm sure you can add lots of value to this. Would love to, yeah. Okay, 2, 3. I think, majority of the people today would be like either a mature or this level. I guess second level would be who try to understand what are the different markets, segments, and they're the people who also look at the long-term investment. There are few people who I met who like constant investors, and this will be the people who already have experience in different sectors. And I think only few of the people like I'm dealing with today on a kind of from our company are like constant investors, and who can add the value, who can also train other people. I haven't met number 4 like in our company yet. I know there is few people who has own a financial company, but it's more like related to the kind of insurance, so they work with a specific segment rather than with the cross market. And I haven't met like personally professional level number 5 in our company, apart from Andrei Haratov, who created own portfolios. He also like able to create the businesses, and he's the one who put all the schemes behind it what we have today. But even Andrei also, he said like he needs to work towards the level 5 professional, because even though he's professional investor, but at the same time he doesn't count himself as the top person in the world, or one of the top people in the world who can understand this investment inside out. So therefore we always have something to look into, some another level to improve. But for people who are level 1, level 2, I think it's really, really, really good place to start with, because definitely you will learn a lot, and Academy of Private Investor materials will definitely help you to boost your level. So that's pretty much all from my side for today. So just to one more time, calculate your homework will be calculate capitalization, create your financial plan, or rather start creating your financial plan, because it will take you some time to do it. What level of investor are you at? Just have a look again. Think what will be your next target, what level would be your next level to go for. And don't forget the last week homework, because next Tuesday is going to be myself and Armand, speakers for the business side. So we will start with asking the homework which were given you last Tuesday. So make sure you prepare. And now please tell me your feedback. What have you learned? Maybe it was few topics which was completely new to you. So it will be good to hear some feedback from you with regards to this session. So you all have your mics, cameras, so please share. Now let's me listen your feedback. Level 2. Okay, so people still put in levels. Eye opening, thank you. Thank you, Philip. Sure, yeah. We finished. Just want to hear a few comments from you guys with regards to the session. What was new for you? What have you learned? Very informative. So we have only Harin and Philip who wanted to share. Other people just cannot be bothered, or they knew everything, so they haven't learned anything new. The contents are great, the challenging, but so much, and I am almost not bored enough with the length of the session. Yeah, session we have quite long, but I cannot imagine how I can do this in a shorter period of time, to be honest. Because there's lots of content to give, and I want to make sure that you guys at least, and these are all basics, so at least these bits I really wanted you to understand inside out. Good information. Thank you. Oh, hi. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Mila. I did make it. Sorry, I was running like a crazy woman. I caught I missed the very first bit, but I caught most of it in the car. And then when I got home, I got on. So yeah, I'll go back and I'll look at the recording and I'll catch up what I missed. I don't think I missed too much. Thank you so much. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Sharon.
But yes, time is my challenge at the moment. So I've got to learn to be more organized.
Well, I think timing, is challenge for most of the people today, especially with the Profi. It's going to take lots of time, especially to do the homework and everything. But I can guarantee you it's all worth it. Because as you do this, you will learn so many things. You will explore so many horizons. And it will help you to understand what you want to do next with our company. Because that's why we do this course. I want to provide you all the possibilities to give you knowledge. And then you tell us where you want to go. And we're just here to support you.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm really learning a lot of new things. It's really got my brain ticking again. And there's so much value to add here as well, which I'm finding really great. And working with interesting people, learning new things and helping others, just wonderful. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sharon. Appreciate it. Okay, Manjula. Thank you. Good information. Might have need to rush to
Sally.
Oh, hi, Sally. I was just reading your comment.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. It is really very informative for us, and I've just been watching some of the Skype messages pop up in one of the chat groups with Stephen that presented today and is having real challenges and people throwing objections. I must say that I'm very blessed to be a big picture person and very visionary. And of course, like you mentioned, having gone to Minsk has really cemented it all. Not that I didn't believe right before I left. So I think we need to present maybe with not too much detail, if I can just give someone a tip, because you're looking for the people that buy into this. We're not looking to convince people, but the content of this is just a really fantastic extra added value. But I'm not sure how everyone else is feeling. Is there a reason why there's so much content and so much diversity per session, and the fact that we also have twice a week? Is this how you've run it always in the past?
Before, no, we try differently. We try to first do 1 time a week, but then we realized that it's it taken like almost 3 months, like 12 sessions. It was just too long. Then we start doing 2 times a week, and then now in Russia they do 3 times a week. So I think 3 times a week, it's very like people really needs to be free of other jobs. Needs to be people who are in the business full time. For them, 3 times a week, it's enough. So you can do all the meetings, and you can learn and do other things as you go homework. But yeah, 2 weeks. Sorry, someone is talking. So 2 weeks. It's like we realize that it's the best layout to do, and the reason why we wanted to mention like business and investment together, because they comes together very closely. Like these are all tactics which you can also use, because some people are there. They kind of it's hundreds of thousands of people who actually not invested in the business today, because they have a strong belief that investment is only for rich people, that they don't know the basics of the investment. They don't understand what is the price per share, what is the dividends. At the end of the day, we're not just selling the bottle of water. we're selling, you know, the access to pre-IPO equity shares through the education. So education component needs to be there, but if you're not educated yourself, how you can advise other people to go for it? That's why we need to add this financial investment education to our courses, so then the leaders and the people who work with us more like with a full-time basis, they have this knowledge to share with other people, because then you will see the results. You will see that your conversion will be like almost like 95%, because then you not just talk about the company and visions. Some people, they want to talk about money. Big investors, they don't necessarily spend the time talking about, you know, visions. They talk about money. They will ask you, what is the company capitalization? What is the yield? What is the return? How the dividends calculated? So if you don't know this, how are you going to present the basics to them? That's why it's not about just, you know, it's important to one-on-one or one-to-many to work with the ordinary people, but now we're looking for the next level. Next level are big investors. Next level are targeted projects. And the questions they will ask you, trust me, going to be on a different level of understanding. So therefore, you need to have the basic of investment for you to be able to handle the big investor objections. That's why we include this on this specific course.
Yes, I can see that, because I am speaking with people that are coming in with larger amounts, and I actually had an executive of a state ask a lot of questions. So there's a great amount of value, but I just personally think that I would get much more out of this if I did the homework in more depth and really took time, and, you know, 1 lesson a week or 2 lessons a week even, but with half the amount of, you know, not all 3 parts as just to use tonight's. So I don't know how other people feel, but 99% of people in Australia, certainly here in Perth, are working other jobs. So they're fitting in Skyway. And right now we're wanting to focus on income producing activities, especially with phase 9 coming to an end.
Yeah.
So the majority of people are still looking to just present the opportunity to the average. And I must say, I really want to give a shout out to my team. They are the most amazing people, and we are having a 95% success sign up rate. I mean, in 2 months, I have 200 partners, and maybe only 30 have not invested.
Oh, wow.
So we're definitely doing something right. So I'm very, very proud of everyone in my organization. But yeah, just finding the time to really absorb this.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is great content.
You know,
much appreciated.
So sorry to interrupt. Next week will be a session related to the business, because now we started with the dreams. So we started with your reason why, right? So these are homeworks like you will complete with the go. We have 12 sessions, and it's a day. You need to complete everything by the session number 12. But it will be easy for you to start doing them on a daily or weekly basis, not like do everything in one go. So therefore, but we have like 12 sessions, which is months and a half for you to complete all the journal. So you don't have to rush everything in one day. But session number 1 was about the dreams, which is foundation, the goals, financial plans. Now we talk briefly about, you know, our financial packages. What is the financial education? What is behind the education? So if people can ask you, you can tell them about what you learned today. If people asking you tomorrow, the people who you who you're talking to with regards to investing. But next session and session after, we will talk more about the business. So we will talk about how to do the presentations, how to approach the people, what are the best methods to look for a network marketer. So we will have other sessions specifically related on the money making exercise, because as you correctly said, that's why we're here. So we have a deadline which is happening within the next 4 or 5 days already today. Even lesser, you know, the time is ticking, and we don't want to switch your focus. But as we go, because it's just, you know, extra course happening now, you also need to kind of learn from it and find the time at least to, you know, twice a week for like 3-4 hours. But the fact that you present it here, it's, you know, you already learned something, so you're not wasting your time anyway. But I see your point, and therefore we're not asking you to do all the homework till the next time. You will be given the entire like 12 sessions to work on a journal anyway, and that's how you slowly will fill up all the gaps.
Yeah, that's fantastic to know. Thank you so much for reiterating that, because I've had so many calls from my team that are taking this very seriously, and I have a lot of teams that really want to help get Skyway off the ground, be part of the office and both the projects and the big, large investors. So I think it's fantastic for them to know, because so many have felt stressed that they're not going to be able to deliver the homework on time and feel almost that that's going to jeopardize them. So thank you for clearing that up and letting us know that it is about doing a little bit every day and having the 6 weeks.
Absolutely. Don't stress. Don't try to do everything in one go. Like, otherwise, as you said, we don't want to switch people focus from, meetings to doing the homeworks, and doing essay. Like essay, it's important, but again, this is just, additional. And this is something like we encourage you to do because it will help you. But at the same time, do focus on daily activities, because they're the one who will bring you the money in the first place, and also contribute to Unitsky to finish, his spark like SAP. And that's what we hear, at this stage. Thank you. Thank you, Sally. Thanks, Sharon. Thank you very much. Yes, I agree. My comment to Roger was that's with so much to do before the deadline, it's difficult to focus on the work, assist those wishing to come on board before 19 running the business. Yeah, well, I guess I addressed this. So if you're stressful, don't be so much stressful, because again, you have the 12 sessions, so is the time frame for you to complete it, everything. So that's what will count. So make sure that you do the gradually every day, bit by bit, and then you will see the big results. So thank you so much. Yeah, Sharon. Yeah, sure. If you want to answer the question, please go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, the focus for me is on the stage 10 deadline. So that's kind of where my head is at. And as much as I want to do all the homework, I'm just so busy in answering the phone and talking to people. But is it possible to extend the deadline? Has anybody asked the question?
I guess this something only Unitsky can decide, and only he will. So if the deadline will be extended, which at the moment we don't know, we only will get to that point in the middle of 19. So usually, if they extend the deadline, which happened before, they will tell us, like on the day of the deadline, they will tell us either in the morning or daytime. That's okay. The deadline is extended for like another 5 days a week, but we would not know until 19. And with their latest updates and, with latest, trip even to India and what happened today, like with the big investors also, it's very unlikely that we actually would need to extend, and very unlikely that they will. And after, as you know, we're now on the middle of certification. So the certification process started from 11th of September. So we have another 1 week-ish and a half for certification to be completed. And then if everything go according to the plan, there is a big chance that after certification, we go to the, to next stage, which is going to be stage 11. Because there are so many things that are going on, and we just, there's lots of urgency, and I can feel it. Like I had received so many calls myself, and like even myself, taking inspiration that I used to be speaker for this course, which also take me lots of time to prepare. I feel, stress as well inside, like I need to do so many things, but we would never know. I guess we have to wait till 19, do our best. I will share with you in our leaders chat as well the figures and facts about the different markets. And we have to put this deadline 19, make sure that everything is done possible till that. Then on 19, if any news, we will update you. If not, then we go to stage number 10. We wait for certification, and then more likely it's going to be, next stage around the corner.
Okay, Mila, you mentioned something happened with a big investor today. Are you able to share?
At the moment, what I can tell you that according to the big investor, everything goes according to his plan. So we should be able to receive the money hopefully this month.
Hopefully.
So that's as much as I can share. But then again, in certain countries we have money, but banking sector is making it so difficult for us. And we can being inside of the company. Actually, I now realize how everything like worldwide, how banking sector is actually controlled. There is like it's crazy. I never realized that before. But now when we have the large sum of money, coming from different countries, I can actually see that, there are certain countries who restricted the people from doing this. Like, for example, in Ethiopia, the government, we can invest in local projects, but people from Ethiopia, they're not allowed to invest, to send the money outside of the country. And because the country is controlled by military. Like, imagine, like, it's crazy, 21st century, but there's countries in the world today who cannot even invest abroad. They cannot buy Bitcoins. They cannot invest in shares. They cannot do like nothing. They only allowed to spend money in their own country. Like, it's so many things, to explore, but the financial markets is just crazy.
I understand all of that. And I think, collectively as, a group, we can force some more change in that area. So power to the people.
Absolutely, power to the people.
We're a voice to be reckoned with.
Absolutely. It's a good line to finish today's session.
Thank you, Mila.
Thank you. Power to the people. Yeah, let's make the world a completely different place. Let's make accessible to everyone. And moving to the next stage very fast. I wish you, all the best. Weekend is coming. So make sure that you rest as well, because next week going to be crazy. I can promise you that. Do as much as you can, but don't forget to rest as well. And I see you next Tuesday.
Presentations all weekend, so there's no rest here.
Yeah. Take some time.
We'll rest on Monday. Thanks, Mila. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Take care. Bye-bye.